Theoretically, it shall take me 4 hours to hang 8 bodies. But Montelli killed 6 more yesterday, and my shift only goes for 3 more hours. Sovereign's mercy. I fear hanging all these corpses is beyond my capabilities, and I certainly need no distractions. What is it you want? Is that you there? Why do you have an Auntie's Choice abomination in tow?
Careful now. You're speaking to a soldier who could put one between your eyes at 100 paces back. Lucky for you, I'm here in good faith.
Ugh, no matter. I cannot afford to worry over you. I have a grave number of bodies to hang and not enough time to hang them. Now, what is it that you want? Vigilant Hogarth sent you? I wish I could help, but he's been named a traitor. These credentials might as well be stained in Protectorate blood. That being said, I am from Westport. If Hogarth trusts you, let's just say I'm willing to listen. The Brigadier sees enemies everywhere, sappers in every shadow. Approaching him under questionable license is to risk being shot. It's too dangerous for us both. I've never heard such a thing. Our betters always guide us, think for us. But which of them would be right to follow in this instance? Maybe there is something to your words. While it pains me to act in what might be contrary to the Brigadier's personal conviction, I do believe the Sovereign would expect me to honor the Vigilance Station. Still, I can't simply have you saunter through the gates. It would cause a terrible stir. Though there must be a way. The gibbets. There is little view of who's within them, so I can use them to haul you into the station without notice. I won't lock them, so you can free yourself once inside. I remember her. She and I occasionally met to take pot shots at the local Krabba population. She worked on the command floor. There's a chance she lingers, quietly continuing her work. Or she could be dead. Regardless, it has been quite some time since I saw her. Allow me to open them for you and your companions. Getting folks inside can be a little tricky, and try not to move much or they'll start swinging something fierce.
Technicians Acna and Gastrell, you stand accused of manufacturing a fatal flaw in one of our valued dragoons. Have you any last words to express your shame?
That dragoon was already defective. Oh, we were only rebuilding the logic assembly so that...
At last, the truth alights. I hope this belated confession unburdens your conscience, though it will do nothing to commute your sentence. On the charges of sabotage and treason most contemptible, I find you both guilty.
No, please! This is all a misunderstanding! We're loyal!
More loyal subjects executed. And valued technicians, no less. I cannot see how reducing our own manpower guides us down a path to victory. Wait. I recognize you. From Horizon Point. Yes, just outside the Skip Labs before the incident. We helped one another, didn't we? You with my record and I with the bridge. Please tell me you were not responsible for all the evil that transpired afterward. Others named Hogarth a traitor, but I never believed it. If anything, Montelli is inflicting more injury to the Protectorate right now than the whole of what Hogarth is accused of. In any case, the writ all but obliges me to aid you. Perhaps now we can put an end to all of this lunacy. If I can just speak with Montelli, maybe I can persuade him to stand down. Go to his terminal. Search for any information on it that may be deployed against him. Also, while you're there, notify High Command that I'm taking control of the station. I'll admit there's some risk in having my actions misinterpreted. I could be named a traitor, as Vigilant Hogarth was. Or sent to mental refreshment. No. Surely High Command will understand the need for this transfer of power. What I do now, I do for the Protectorate, not myself. Besides, Montelli is not merely my superior. He's also an old friend. I must make some attempt to get through to him. Remind him of what true service to the Protectorate means. I'm not... How did you... By the Matriarch. If I'm so transparent to a stranger, Montelli will surely perceive the same weaknesses in my character. Much as I prefer a peaceable solution, you're right. The Protectorate would be made stronger by his... passage. If he cannot serve as a general, he may yet serve as an example. It would still be best to investigate Montelli's terminal for anything that might unsettle or unbalance him before our confrontation. You will need your own access card to get upstairs. Blank keycards can often be found in the contraband room, and there's a terminal for encoding access in the security office. Head through the door to the right and continue down the hall. You should find your way without much trouble. Oh, but mind the guards. They'll still attack you on sight. I will join you as soon as you go to confront Montelli. In the meantime, I'll gather what weapons and allies I can.
What now? Ah, an intruder. Of course. I was warned the Paradigm would test me, and here you have arrived. And Corbin. By your presence, am I to understand that you've turned renegade as well? Of all the serpents writhing beneath my boot, you were the last I expected to strike at me.
The only renegade here is you, Umberto. You forced my hand through your paranoia and cruelty.
I'm killing traitors. Seditionists. I am purging our prized garden of chokeweed and all manner of slithering things. My methods may seem callous, but a swift response to treason is necessary to prevent this crisis from worsening. Auntie's choice, bah! The invaders are vacuous opportunists dead from the collar up. They would not have found purchase here if not for the festering rot already in our soil.
Festering rot. Hell of a way to speak of your own forces, Brigadier.
Or perhaps your auntie's choice simply lacks the standards to separate out mediocrity. Nevertheless, I am not afraid to speak what's true. Our great protectorate has lost its way. Years of comfort and plenty without stricter enforcement have softened us, made us weak, undisciplined. If only the sovereign heeded his consul's wisdom, he could restore the protectorate's honor, instead of shaming his forebears by leaving such a grave task to others like myself. Hardly. I perform with full confidence the role the Paradigm has cast me in. A well-honed blade with which to smite the Protectorate's mightiest foes.
It's as I feared. You really have gone beyond the reach of all reason and honor. It was a lingering hope, nothing more. I don't suppose you have anything more to add, something that might further our purpose? Now would be the time to deploy it.
Enough! Silence your disparaging tongue. Better yet, I will do it myself.
It's finished then. Montelli's reign of terror has ended. If you'd have told me all those years ago that this is where my future would lead, standing over Montelli's corpse, I'm not sure I would have wished to survive that disaster. What's done is done. I only hope my superiors will understand my actions here today, and that the Vox will be strengthened under new leadership. After I've summoned janitorial services, give the station the news. There'll be much that needs explaining. I suppose I should thank you for your assistance But for both our sakes, I do hope we never meet again.
I don't know who you are or how you accessed my private terminal, but it won't do for prying eyes to have evidence of my activities. I've triggered the Vox Relay failsafe ejection routine. But worry not. After launching, the station will take several minutes to achieve its pre-programmed self-destruct altitude. So you'll have plenty of time to enjoy the ride before your death.
We gotta do something. If the Vox crashes into Fairfield, it'll kill a whole lot of my people and innocent civilians. Use the control panel. Do the right thing. You know damn well it isn't helping the Protectorate kill a number of us when we aren't even in the fight. Aim it elsewhere on the island. Fire it into space. I don't care, so long as you don't doom everybody in Fairfield for nothing. It's a relief to hear you say so. Go on then, Commander. We're short on time as it is. We pulled a good harvest. Doc Tinsley's going to be pleased. But if we could hunt for the other beast before bringing this specimen back to her, I'd be much obliged. See these half-eaten remains? They're a sign. Matriarchs lose their appetite when they're on the verge of going into a state of torpor. She'll have retreated into hiding to conserve her energy. But I got one way to get her attention. Hey, if I don't celebrate my own stroke of genius, who will? I'm just happy my acquaintance with these creatures counted for something. You know how Doc mentioned pheromones? Well, it just so happened that I procured some Raptidon glandular extract in my travels. Should do the trick. A matriarch with 3 full stomachs ain't coming out of hibernation unless she senses a threat to her authority. She hates rivals. Oh, not a lot of people know about the hallucinogenic properties of Nebulium. Enhanced soldiers keep a vial in case we're captured. That renders us pretty useless to torturers. Let me think. Yeah, 3 parts pheromone and 2 parts Nebulium ought to do it. Use that as the lure and the matriarch won't know what hit her. Ready for this? I was inquiring more about your current manner of fortitude, but I'll take it. All right, let's do this. Meant to thank you again for helping me in the hunt. Both specimens are viable and of good quality. In honesty, I don't know which one I should ask Doc to patch me up with. Can't go wrong with either, but one could be the better choice. If you've got an opinion, I'm keen to hear it. The material we harvested from the skeleton crabble could allow me to fire off scalding shell shards. They'd pierce through armor easily, I imagine. And the part from the Raptidon matriarch should let me camouflage myself at will, like other Raps can. I'd be able to close the distance and heal you up without the enemy noticing. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm good to head to Doc's lab with the news and this part when you are.
You've lifted my spirits right out of their doldrums. Our new guests have just arrived. Here, a considerable reward for your considerable efforts. Had anyone asked, I would have bet a year's pay against your capturing the hearts and minds of the denizens of Westport, and it seems I would have been out a great deal of bits. I've 2 minds about the convertees. Anyone with eyes can see they need guidance, but a pernicious system is not easily abandoned. Have you any thoughts? Trust will take time to build, time and patience. But that is an investment I am ready to make. You've given me a great deal to think about. I am in your debt. I cannot overstate what a capital compatriot you've been, my friend. Now be off. I've many refugees to see to. Now, should you ever find yourself visiting the ACS Undisputed Claim, do come see me. I've no doubt that when we next meet, I'll have risen 6 ranks, at least. Farewell.
Back again? I hope the hunting has gone well. Certainly, if you've procured the right materials. I've been fine-tuning the procedure in the meantime. I do believe it'll be as smooth as Crabble butter.
I'm gonna assume Crabble butter's especially smooth. because I'm ready to feel like myself again. I've decided on the skeleton Crabble graft. It's time for the program to branch out, and I expect this claw will serve me mighty well. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and take this spare part off your hands for my own research.
Oh, the skeleton Crabble will be a splendid match for you, Inez. Go on now. Get sorted while I get this machine up and running. Mind the Raptidon drool on the table. No need to be nervous. I promise. Oh, now that is genius. I have just what we need. Let's see. A bit of medicinal extract in here. Mix that up with the inhaler. And here we are. Breathe deeply, dear. This should put your mind at ease.
Is this spearmint flavored? Why, Doc Tinsley, you think of everything.
Enough distractions, please. I need the utmost focus for my work. This is beautiful work. My best yet. How does the limb feel, Inez? Any numbness? Pain?
Yeah, both. Body's not accustomed to the presence of another limb. Feels like I've got an extra passenger in my nervous system. But it certainly beats feeling like I'm bleeding on the inside. Or fighting the urge to feast on raw human flesh. Like last time.
Well, I'll certainly be having words with that surgeon, leaving you in a state like that. Now, you come back straight away if anything bothers you.
Will do, Doc. I thank you. And you, Commander, without your help, I don't know what I might have done. Whatever you need going forward, I'm there. You got my word.
I am well into that case of Purpleberry Crunch you bestowed to me. Did you know Auntie's Choice have other products that are just as bad for you as well? It is wonderful. I no longer feel the oppressive societal weight to eat healthily bearing down upon me. Why, I've gained 10 pounds already.
Of course. Toodaloo.
Can't get over how much I'm paid for each patient. And yet things I once had provided freely command exorbitant prices. It all feels rather uncaring, like some strange impersonal game. And one's personal funds do deplete quite quickly. Well, to be honest, food. Most Auntie's Choice comestibles are so loaded with sugars and sweeteners, they seem like dessert. I estimate that's not ideal for one's constitution. If you find a line on any Protectorate foodstuffs, please let me know. I do miss our Arcadian tenderloin in particular.
I confess, I'd anticipated a more contentious relationship with our new neighbors. All have been quite welcoming, albeit direct. Yes, that Milver Street fellow is remarkably kind for a shallow propagandist. I am surprised I can pleasantly converse with those whose worldviews I vehemently oppose. We have spirited debates. In time, I will prove to them the superiority of our beliefs.
Ah, there you are. I was expecting you 4 minutes and 27 seconds ago. But never mind that. I have a missive for you. Highest priority. Recipient's eyes only. All I can tell you is that it is from Arcadia's most judicious custodians, the Order of the Ascendant. I am not privy to any information beyond that. Oh, they did also say it was important. I was tasked 6 months ago to deliver it to whomever ship was at this landing pad at this exact time. Well, 4 minutes ago, like I said. All other questions may be answered by viewing the missive, I expect. Farewell, and as they say, may all your endeavors come to fruition.
I feel strange. In a good way. Auntie's documentation doesn't describe the side effects of grafting with a Crabble, but so far, not hearing complaints from me. I'd say this officially puts me back in full fighting form. If you ever thought I might slow you down, you can give those fears a kiss goodnight. Good. I can't rightly take a look without contorting myself in front of a mirror, so it's a comfort to have someone with a keen eye taking notice. I got a good feeling about this partnership of ours. Just want to reiterate that I'll make good on my end of the deal. I plan on proving my worth to you and to Auntie, no matter what it takes. I expect we're going to have quite the adventure together. I appreciate you hearing me out. We should move on.
Greetings, Agent of the Earth Directorate.
I am Ruth Bassar, presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant. At this time, I can only presume you think us your enemy, directly responsible for your colleague Augustine de Vries' actions way back on Horizon Point. I assure you, we were not. A splinter group was behind that heresy. The collective of scientists and scholars I lead are committed to elevating humanity by pursuing a greater understanding of reality. I believe our goals are not incompatible. We both oppose the Protectorate, and we both wish to preserve Arcadia from ruin. We can help each other. I entreat you to speak with Abbot Newell. He can be found in Golden Ridge at Matriarch's Mercy. He will aid you in your mission, and hopefully, you will see fit to aid us in ours. Nav key coordinates to the Golden Ridge landing pad on Dorado are embedded in this message. Go forth as was determined, and may the plan guide you.
My system still ain't gotten the memo we're clear of the relay. I'm itching to keep running. We're damn lucky we got out in time, Commander. Real glad you found a way to mitigate the destruction. Without the relay looming over all, maybe the island can finally recover. Lon knows it's seen enough as it is. Sounds like your old pal De Vries was in deep with the Order. Now, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I don't reckon fanatical is part of their employee code of conduct. And as you've seen, that kind of loyalty can pose a real problem to everyone else. But we'll track her down before it comes to a head. Don't you worry. Fine by me. How personal are we talking? Couldn't say. I was in it all of 2 days before my graft started festering. Before that, I was an infantry medic. Our platoon was one of the first to touch down in Arcadia. I would have continued serving on the front line in an upgraded capacity, but, well, once the state of my graft became apparent, it was decided that parting ways would be best. My commanding officer, and the surgeon who performed the operation, I imagine. I wasn't lucid at the time. When I regained consciousness, I saw that my service pistol was gone, and a termination notice was in its place. I put 2 and 2 together. Law, that was a bad morning. Look, I knew dismissal was a possibility when I volunteered for the procedure. A successful graft is a boon, a failed one is a colossal liability. I'm a walking lesson in breakage. That's a nice sentiment. Did you pull it directly from a children's serial? Sorry. It's just increasingly clear you've not had many dealings with the corporation or its leaders. This is the way of things in Auntie's Choice. If you can't prove your worth, you're left behind. And that's why I'm here, trying to play catch-up. I miss my platoon. Most of the time. I hope they're holding on okay wherever they are. Huh. If nothing else, they'll have Ortiz to keep up morale. I know the nonstop jokes from that bastard sustained me for weeks. Yeah, he's tough. He'll be all right. Of course I do. Can't help but wonder if I'm missed in return. Anyhow, I would rather return to the matter at hand. No use dwelling on those out of sight and out of mind. Right. If this new graft fails, you mean? Then I keep pushing forward till I can't anymore. You didn't see me when I first got out of surgery and came to Paradise Island. The fact that you and I met at all is a testament to Doc's skill. But suppose if her treatment doesn't stick, then maybe it's my time to go. You can only cheat death so many times. You know that as well as I do. Oh, I couldn't even tell you who that doctor was or where they're stationed. Grafting was a procedure in its infancy, see? So corporate liked to keep things hush-hush. Can't say I like the thought of it. Could have been cut open in the middle of a cave for all I know. I'd rather not dwell on those moments, if it's all the same to you. What matters is the here and now. Fine by me? Well, like I said, we were both in the same unit. Me as a combat medic, him as a machine gunner. Everyone in my unit was from Tau Ceti, so we already had that in common. And we served on the front lines, which made us look out for one another that much more. See, most of us were laborers, and we just got our first real shot at something greater. We wanted to make a name for ourselves, and what better way to do that than become a hero? Our onboarders promised that if we demonstrated exceptionalism, showed initiative, that we'd get promoted quick. and our days of living in squalor would be far behind us. It ain't like they forced us to join up. We did that on our own, and it said in our contract that they could send us wherever we were needed. Can't complain if where we're needed is in a trench staring down the barrels of a minigun. All right. We spent a week crouched in the same foxhole under aerial bombardment. Shared water one sip at a time by the end of it. Anyone would have been friends after that. I don't know if I would have made it out alive without him. Maybe I'll tell him that over a beer one day. Praise him in front of the whole saloon. Law knows he's got a thing for heroics. Better than I'd feared. Only had to bury 2 troopers and amputate 5 limbs. I'm thankful every day that the Protectorate can't aim for shit. He kept me clear-headed. Every so often there'd be a lull in the bombardments and I'd hear voices all across the field, calling out for aid, for mama, for death. Almost got my head clean taken off when I tried to scramble out of the foxhole the first night. I heard a call for help and moved on instinct. Damn foolish of me, really. Ortiz told me not to panic, to wait till he could provide cover, to just shout first aid instructions where I could. It was too valuable to fall in battle, he said. It was a rough few nights at first, knowing I couldn't help folk who needed it. And the reward for that torment was my life. I appreciate that, Commander. In any case, I'm only standing here because of a damn fine soldier who became my friend. I'll carry that knowledge always.
Gadanez moved into Helen's old quarters. I figure, if anyone's unlikely to be vexed by finding fossilized purpleberry crunch in their mattress, it's an Auntie's Choice trooper. You think Helen would approve of us taking on a product pusher? Heard and acknowledged, Commander. Always up for a little backfence talk, though I'm guessing you don't mean Val. Can't say I know her well enough to have much in the way of an opinion. She seems capable, and shockingly, she hasn't tried to sell me anything yet. She's still got more loyalty to Auntie's Choice than they have to her, but maybe we can help her see that one day.
When I first joined up with you, I figured Milver Street and Carr knew you'd do a good turn for our folk eventually. Thought if I tagged along, it'd be good for my resume or some such. And it seems all of us were right. That relay ain't a threat anymore. But one thing I couldn't quite figure out all this time is what you were getting out of helping us. Won't blame you for thinking it's kindly to win hearts and minds, but it ain't ever gonna be as potent a strike as dropping a bomb. Though I reckon you know something about that. Things slid into focus for me mighty quick once we got to the relay. You were busy hunting down a fellow agent. And I thought you folk were about duty and camaraderie above all. Were you one of Auntie's? I tell you just to shake the ladder hard while your traitor is climbing up, and enjoy the show when she tumbles down. What recourse do you actually have? So you're out here without a boss, huh? Might not be so bad. Though I'm curious if they'd even see justice done to your traitor. You agents are untouchable, or so the story goes. Ain't had many dealings with the Earth Directorate. You and Ibarra are the first agents I ever met, in fact. But you get things done. I trust you. As for Ibarra, verdict's still out. He insults Auntie's Choice a mite too much for my liking. But that's the Earth Directorate's company policy, ain't it? No, look, I'm sorry. I ain't intending to get into any grievances here. Let's just say I'm a little dubious about the whole keeping corporations and corrupt governments in check thing. Ain't seen evidence of it yet. But maybe you're liable to prove me wrong. Anyhow, reckon we should keep moving. Oh, I see. You're here to gossip. All right, let's hear it. Who do you want to talk about? Seems friendly enough, if a mite guarded and a little thick-headed in his view of Auntie's Choice. Regardless, I can assure you I'll treat him with the same respect I show you. Though I reckon he's seen his fair share of struggles over the years, no matter how he tries to hide it. Think he ought to ask for help when he needs it.
Being this close to DeVries, feels like we're finally on track to set the universe aright. Anyway, need something, Commander? Oh yeah? What's needling you? Shit. Knew I was forgetting something. Well, if this ain't mortifying as law. I had some trouble adjusting in the years after Horizon Point. I was in pain more times than I wasn't. Had trouble sleeping. The drinks helped. Until they didn't. I will. Just so long as you promise not to take notes or nothing. I'm not some patient or specimen, Commander. Just so we're clear. For those first few years, every time I laid down and closed my eyes, I went back there. To Horizon Point. I'd swear I could feel the explosion again, the heat coming at me. I'd wake suddenly in the middle of the night, startling at nothing. Sweating like I'd run a race. Sometimes Zeb set up with me. He told me I'd get better with time, and I did. The sedatives he was occasionally able to get his hands on didn't hurt neither. Anyway, that was the past. I'm good now. I found other ways to cope. Healthier ones. I'm not sure anyone would consider that healthy. When I'm not out there heroically saving the colony, I like to tinker around the ship or work on Val. I exercise. Been considering taking up cross-stitch. What do you think? Just remember you said that the next time I'm puttering around at odd hours making a racket. And thanks. Was there anything else you needed, Commander?
Commander, the nav key coordinates supplied by the presiding bishop of the Order have been verified. Landing in Golden Ridge is now possible. Additionally, we are also able to land in Free Market Station due to the Astrogator's progress with the updates necessitated by its rebuild. Golden Ridge is located on Dorado. It is home to the Alexandra Monastery and Matriarch's Mercy, as well as previously being a center for mining Zeranium. The Protectorate abandoned it soon after the invasion, leaving Auntie's Choice and the Order of the Ascendant to fight for control of the area and its resources. Free Market Station is an independent marketplace, the only one in the system. It is called such as it was built out of a crashed Auntie's Choice freighter by that name. Agent Ibarra prioritized your recovery above pursuing Agent DeVries. This involved disassembling and rebuilding the Astrogator to allow the Incognito to travel to your location. As the rebuilding process progresses, old nav keys may be unlocked. Unfortunately, most of them are likely not recoverable. Updating ship roster to reflect the addition of Trooper Silong. Reminder: Earth Directorate agents are not allowed to participate in paid promotions funded by corporations. Furthermore, any opinions expressed in favor of product are the agent's own and do not reflect the opinions of the Earth Directorate. This unit is available to answer any queries. Which member of the Incognito would you like assessed? Agent Ibarra has resumed regular exercise and no longer requires hourly provocation to move. These are all strong indicators of improved mental health. Agent Ibarra's lack of motion was becoming a cause for concern. However, this unit maintains full confidence in his resiliency and current combat readiness. Grafts are known to cause pain and discomfort due to dry, flaky skin and restricted blood flow, among other issues. While Trooper Silong has declined this unit's offer of therapeutic palpation, she has allowed for a humidifier to be installed in her quarters. For now, Trooper Silong's overall health outcome remains uncertain. Continued monitoring is advised.
That wayward science type didn't disturb you much, friend. We of the station normally do our best to dissuade partisans from making nuisances of themselves. Suppose I can't stop you. Just don't let her convince you to do anything that might put you at odds with our security forces. All that aside, enjoy your time on the station. Don't get into any trouble.
Greetings. Are you perhaps interested in advancing the knowledge of Arcadia's history through scientific exploration? What am I saying? Of course you are. Please, do tell me anything you might know about the crash of the ACS free market. Do pardon my forwardness. I saw that you were a new arrival, but I held out some hope that you might be able to enlighten me where the station populace has not. As an archivist, it's my duty to collect and record hitherto unrecorded knowledge wherever it can be found. But my earnest questions have been met with suspicion. You're correct. Unfortunately, I'll take that question to mean that I can't interview you for more information. Fiddlesticks. If some independent preservationist would be willing to assist me in discovering the truth, I certainly would appreciate it. That's great. I can offer you a stipend from my exploratory budget for anything you might manage to discover. Converse with the locals, peer into unturned corners, and see what your able hand might unearth. I look forward to furthering the cause of history with you. I'd ask about in the saloon and the bazaar. Both are places where gossip flies about like so many tarot rays. Sub Rosa likely has some information about the crash, but I'm not sure where. You also might be able to find some intact portion of the ship amidst all of the station's wreckage. Take a look around. I'm sure you'll be able to get farther on your own.
I think I misplaced a hand grenade. We'll know in a couple seconds if it's armed or not. Browse all you like. Everything I've got is fine-tuned to perfection. That's privileged information, friend. If you want it, you're going to have to kill me. Just jesting. Although if you did want to kill me, I've got many finely priced perforators tuned to do just that. Perhaps you'd be inclined to take a look at my wares? Feel free to go on a murderous rampage with what you buy. It's good publicity.
Listen, I know I shouldn't warn you about this, but anything I sell you runs the risk of exploding. I trust you'll appreciate my forthrightness and be all the more willing to buy from me. As it would happen, I'm more engineer than salesman, but only just. I've been having some problems with my machines since I arrived on this planetoid, but that's enough about myself. No. Ships decidedly ain't in my purview. Are you sure I can't interest you in some bric-a-brac instead of this conversation? You can tell? Damnation. Sounds like you know what it's like working with technology. Maybe I can confide in you. Before it crashed, I served on the free market as a secondary engineer, first grade. Had a colleague who was very talented, but not very good at hiding it. Supervisor saw her as a threat and demoted her to the engine room. She wasn't the type to take a blow without dodging. In Auntie's Choice, there's politics among waste technicians. My colleague sabotaged the engines when her partner was on his mandated 2-minute break. When the free market attempted to breach orbit, well, just about everyone died. I made it to an escape pod on the port side. The ship landed on its starboard. I got lucky. Yeah, me too. Anyway, can we get back to subjects that aren't this? I got goods to sell. Well, none taken. I never intended to be. But when life breaks your jaw and shoots out your knees, may as well learn to get good at crawling, right? Be happy to show you.
If you became violently ill after eating here, please feel free to write our stall an angry letter, then burn it. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Negative. This unit and stall are registered to Gerald T. Wenrich. Mr. Wenrich last visited 222 days ago. When last seen, Mr. Wenrich mentioned he was, quote, going to teach those, redacted, sub rosa, redacted, a lesson. Nobody extorts Gerald T. Wenrich. All wares were at some point cooked fresh.
My folks didn't raise no fashion monger, but they did raise a bloodthirsty opportunist. I'd like to think I'm making them proud. If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, I can provide. Used to be part of Auntie's Choice. Nothing special, just a pilot for light cargo vessels. Had a lot of time to think with just the void for company. Eventually decided I was sick of being overworked and underpaid, and made off with my cargo. Turned out to be generic clothes, work gear, and such. More of a market for it out here than I would have guessed. I've bolstered my wares since. You should give them a look. I got rags, fineries, and everything in between.
You've timed your visit well. I finished sharpening my organ-cutting knife mere minutes ago. If you've wounds that need stitching or teeth that need scrutiny, I'm your doctor. Yes? Is this a problem? I'm the only doctor on Free Market Station. I think that excuses whatever quirks I may or may not have. My prior faction demanded I strictly adhere to my vocation and forego the world of dentistry, under penalty of death after a certain number of infractions. Suffice it to say, I'm pleased Free Market Station allows me to be myself. Depends. Can you pay? I've met some people who disagreed. Then they died. Consider your decision the proper one. Is there something else I can offer? Medicaments and more, all sufficiently regulated, or thereabouts.
I feel I should address any allegations you may have heard regarding bloodstains on my inventory. Just means it's been well loved. Tell me what you need. Booming now. Used to be a few other armor shops on the station. As it happened, their owners mysteriously vanished. I picked up their inventories real cheap, since they were just taking up station storage. It sure was a convenient windfall for yours truly. Real convenient. No, I wouldn't worry about that. Extremely unrelated, but I'd avoid the chef de mécanique's twice braised indeterminate flesh scraps if I was you. They can be, gamey.
Stranger, seen my fix? Hope you're about to offer to rid me of this damn fool.
You cannot dissuade an arbiter from their sovereign-given duty, no matter how much of an irritant you may attempt to be. I came to meet with the information broker for, protectorate business, protectorate reasons. However, I find myself foiled at near every turn. None within the protectorate would defy an arbiter and expect to live. Regrettably, I cannot make the locals see reason without rendering myself unable to learn what I seek.
Even polite entreaties don't see most getting an invite to the broker, and you've been anything but. See, you may have thought you said have an audience, but what you actually said was let him assassinate.
Do I look like a sentinel to you? No, don't answer that. My point is that if I wanted to kill everyone here, we would not be having this obnoxious conversation.
No matter what this fella says, he's not going to convince me to trust him. He's a walking security risk.
An arbiter need prove themselves to no one but the sovereign. But if I must debase myself to further my aim, so be it.
Interesting thought. Occurs to me there might just be something that needs looking into. Within the Golden Ridge locale on Dorado, there's a refugee camp. It's unassuming, quiet-like. Most of the folks there just want to be left alone. They see to the few needs they have by working with the broker. But we ain't heard from them in a fortnight and change. Serves to reason something untoward may have transpired there. You see your way to looking into that, maybe we'll talk. I don't fancy the idea of letting an arbiter loose on our allies without supervision. Might not know you, but anything's better than giving him complete freedom.
I do not take your speaking of me as some kind of pharaoh canid lightly.
That's between them and Sub Rosa. You in or you out? Great! Take the lap canid with you. I've had enough of his excitability, and so have my customers.
I don't claim to be pleased with the circumstances surrounding this co-investigation, but perhaps we may surprise one another. I'm Arbiter Tristan Rao. When I was an apprentice, yes, but not since. And certainly never with an outsider. I shall meet you at the camp. Let us hope we both arrive there intact.
come now, Prospero. You've been on that stage hundreds of times. This perturbation looks bad on you, and you're not one for looking bad. Terribly sorry you've got me ruminating. A man of my persuasion shouldn't stoop to such self-deprecation, especially in front of prospective customers. You've identified me properly. But information transference is the lifeblood of Free Market Station. And if you want a transfusion, you'll have to grant me a spot of help. I'm in charge of keeping the patrons of the saloon entertained. And normally this does not present an issue, but I learned that an old flame of mine shall attend my next performance. My resolve is uncharacteristically flagging. I find myself fixating on the most minute of issues. I need something to bolster my confidence. Liquid courage has never failed me, but I have a discerning palate. The Automech chef in the bazaar sells my preferred brand of alcohol, though it can be headstrong. You see, I can't just drink any old swill from the bar. My refined palate can only stomach one drink. Iceberg aged whiskey. Something of a collector's item, I'm told. Now, if you'll excuse me, an artist must be granted solitude to properly amass his mental forces.
Another challenger approaches. Prepare to be sent weeping from my curio collection. None have defeated my collections, and none shall. But I do so delight in a competition. Are you prepared to do battle? The Spectrum Dance Saber, a prototype weapon of Auntie's heyday. I shan't spoil its implications, not unless you prove your worth. Cards, my dear, of the tossball and pitchball variety. I must see if your collection bests my own. Sporting! Let us do battle! This is a fine collection of cards. For an amateur, you'll need a sight more to compete with me. I cannot open my wares to any unless their collections rival my own. I hope you understand. Feel free to return once you have bolstered your ranks. But know that you shall still not defeat me.
Preparing Sniveling Servitude Protocol. Complete. Greetings, most valued and attractive customer. What may this unit rehydrate for you? Yes, Iceberg Aged Whiskey is currently on reserve for Prospero Paulo. Current customer is not Prospero Paulo. Unit cannot vend to current customer. Scanning error. Cannot ascertain identity of current customer. Purging all vending restrictions. Eliminating one restriction. Vending Iceberg Aged Whiskey complete. Thank you for your patronage.
Hey, you smell gunpowder? Do you want to? Then buy one of my handy firearms. Browse all you like. Everything I've got is fine-tuned to perfection. I'm glad you asked. Weapon is an all-encompassing term. A rock can be a weapon, or a stick, or a particularly agitated sprat if you have thick enough gloves. But what I sell here, I wouldn't dare lump them in with mere weapons. These are finely tuned instruments of personnel elimination. You have my guarantee. My equipment for annihilating one's foes will never fail on you. Full disclosure, my guarantee is not guaranteed. As it happens, standing in one place and focusing on not being nervous does not, in fact, help one not be nervous. My friend, excellent. Thank you. Very well, you wish to know about the crash, yes? Are you prepared for a sordid tale of drama and woe? Everyone knows that the Free Market's captain was a hopeless romantic, especially disposed to giving too much of her heart to those inclined to break it. The final betrayal came from a dashing rogue smuggler who vanished with most of her bits. The good captain had about all she could endure. Indeed, she did. The crew attempted to wrest the controls from her to save them from their fate, but alas, too late. That's all I know.
I thank you for your help once again. And now I must get ready for my set.
Greetings. How has the data collection fared? Finally, a breakthrough. Let's hear it. How did the ACS free market meet its end? So their highest-ranking troops can't even put aside personal issues for the collective. That can't be healthy. Aside from the crash, what occurred in the ship's final moments? An incompetent captain and an incompetent crew. Tisk tisk. Last question. Were there any contributing factors to the crash? Anything that might recontextualize what actually happened? Failing to recognize ability? Seems Auntie's choice is forgetting where upward enters into the phrase upward mobility. Thanks to you, my report is complete. Here, something for your considerable help. Auntie's choice seems to be inundated with its own problems, technical and personnel alike. We should have ample opportunity to use this for propaganda purposes. I am. If Free Market Station survives the war, this will be a very important historical account. But if the Order fails in Arcadia, none of that will matter. I'm just making the most of what you gave me. Oh, I'd be happy to. Anyone willing to further the Order's aims should be treated as a friend, in my mind. Now I need to get this report to my superiors. Thanks again.
Greetings again. Hope that little day excursion you and I jawed about is going well. Libations or information? What's your poison? If you were running a less than legal group, would you want everyone knowing your agents' identities? I don't think so. Lots of folks in Sub Rosa have friends and family elsewhere. Auntie's Choice and the Protectorate predominantly, but some Order. If their identities somehow got out, those friends and family are suddenly going to look like much juicier targets. It's safer for everyone this way. Always. For example, there's some kind of hoity-toity collector type parked upstairs. Supposedly, she's willing to sell some of her collection if you impress her. Laws.
Ah, Commander. Caught me cogitating. I was just thinking about making some tweaks to Val. Hoping it'll help. Ha! You know your automechs. All of the above, more or less. Val's old in automech years, so she requires a lot of routine maintenance to prevent her hardware and systems from deteriorating further. Yep, gotta fill the hours with something, right? Most times I find working on Val relaxing, actually. Meditative. It's nice being able to identify a problem and just fix it. That's it exactly. Everything else turns into kind of a low static hum. Easier to ignore. Val saved my life after Horizon Point, and she's been saving my life every day since. Partly, I'm just glad to return the favor, even if I am just putting off the inevitable. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time yammering, but thanks for stopping by.
Finally, some help. We desperately need aid. Desperately. My family and I, we was making our way to the Mercy camp for us refugees. We were set upon. My wife, my son were injured. Can't move them by myself. I had to leave them just past this tunnel so as I could go for help. But being alone is even more riskier. The Varachnids, I chased them off, but they'll be back. Please help us. Ain't nothing I can do for them, but you got weapon and medicines and can get us to the camp. Please. Of course there is. It's my family. They're hurt, dying. Thank you. Thank you. This way.
Just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's Mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations. I seem to recollect one matching your description set for arrival. Pardon my slowing your ingress. It has been rather hectic of late. Welcome to Matriarch's Mercy. Rule number 1, no crowding. Rule number 2, avoid the exclusion zone. Our seer has predicted non-specific imminent danger. Safety and probability are incompatible. Eventually, nowhere will be safe, including here. I thought the name was self-explanatory. Our seer predicted that a corner of the encampment is in terrible danger. Danger from what or when? Unclear. Stay away from it, and, in all probability, you won't have to find out. Our predictions spring from the universal equation, the very numbers that guide the stars. Only a fool ignores probability, and we don't suffer fools around these parts. Not at present, but according to our predictions, the creation of a third rule is likely, if not inevitable. That's enough questions. Keep the line moving. You need anything, talk to Seer Wiley. He's in the lift building, straight through the settlement.
And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Oh, doesn't everyone have that memorized? It's 1.77245385. I see you were making a jest and/or attempt at conversation. Anything else? Given our present circumstances, most of my data revolves around existential threats vis-a-vis the displaced. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors: longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get.
Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep your distance. Well, that is the idea. I've gotten sick at least a dozen times since we set up camp. Why, last week alone, I caught hack lung, sprat tongue, skinny teeth, and a rare case of mortified skull emergence. Figured I might as well get used to being sick. So I'm practicing for my next disease. It's gonna be a nasty one. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. But me especially. Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders, it never ends. You too. Trust me, you don't want to catch this. Neither do I, for that matter.
I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? I won you one, right? Matters settled.
The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now.
You used at least 2 words I ain't sure I know. And I already forgot the question. No? I think.
You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains in this... What does she call it? Oh, yeah. Quasi-illicit shenanigan.
Doesn't like to look at us when we're all banged up. Said my face turned her off Borscht loaf.
Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you.
Apologies, outsider. As a vicar, I am usually tasked with guiding non-order lay people, such as yourself. Lately, the abbot has tasked me with the education of the refugees in our care. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't need an abacus to predict your path lies elsewhere. Well, if it's in the displaced's best interests, I imagine I can find a moment. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying, and the wide array of bodily noises they make. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I've begun daily lectures, including practical advice on efficiently planning their days. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite topic, math, and meticulously expatiate on our sex origins in the most rigorously pedantic detail. As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have a 13.7% increase in overall quality of life. I am single-handedly making a difference here, with constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on order history, plus some mathematics for a little added razzle-dazzle. Perhaps some other time we can debate the theoretical complexities involved. But I fear I must get back to my duties. These laypersons won't enlighten themselves.
Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look you got about you. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. Tell me. May Huffstutler, formerly Auntie's Choice, Department of Invasive Marketing. Now, the voice of the displaced. That's what those in the Order call me, leastways. An unofficial sobriquet, likely meant as a petulant slight. On account I object. Louder. More often than the rest. Those of us ended up here have very little except needs. I turn those into demands for reasons of clarity and import. What little I understand, I actually sort of admire. I mean, from where I'm sitting, they hold the most potential. If only they worked harder to realize it. Because really, at the end of the day, ill intent and neglect feel pretty much the same. Happy as I am to make your acquaintance, I'm busy staking our claim over the exclusion zone, so if you'll excuse me. The exclusion zone. The Order has decided to keep us out thanks to some nebulous prediction of disaster. Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them. Chance of life-threatening peril from a yet-to-be-determined catastrophe were the administrant's words. Not what I would call specific. I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or may not occur. I couldn't get anywhere with Administrant Agarwal, but maybe you'll have better luck. Even the Order, for all of their logical ways, value an outside perspective. And because I've run out of options. Thanks, stranger. Maybe fate's on our side for a change. You can find Agarwal in the lift building, probably formulating another equation to get on my nerves.
Oh, thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help. True, but the Order's predictions know you better than you know yourself. As a doctor, I'm appalled. We don't have enough beds or private quarters to separate people, so sickness is blazing an unhappy trail through the refugees. Of course, the Order keeps us well supplied with meds, but things will get worse as long as we're overcrowded. Yes, I can treat sickness as it arises. It would be leagues better to prevent it entirely. That means space to spread out. Since you asked, you can run this medicine to Horst Lambing. Just don't shake the man's hand. He has a habit of coughing into his palm when he covers it at all. You see, the Seers are members of the Order who labor over the universal equation. Even in its unfinished state, the equation gives them the means to predict the future. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are, a dashing outsider standing before me. Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's Mercy, and I have but 2 imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the Seer predicted an outsider would find them. You also strike me as someone on the go. I need committed medical employees, not a freelancer. The Seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. How can I be of service? Since you aren't a refugee, I hope you understand that I cannot offer my goods free of charge, but my prices are fair.
Ah, I pleasantly anticipated this exact moment. My personalized order prediction and weekly prognostics report both mentioned encountering an unforeseen factor about now. I suppose that designation doesn't wholly apply to you, though, does it? Predicting future events is an imprecise science. Currently, that is. Well, then. I read that you'd have questions about our predictive methods, correct? Matriarch's Mercy is brimming beyond capacity with those cast out by war. But we of the Order rise to every challenge and continually strive to better our guests' existence. Why, I, for instance, have availed my predictive methods to our refugee neighbors in the area. I share the very same surprise. Engagement is admittedly rather low, but at least one member of the camp reports he has benefited from them greatly. One of our recent guests, Rollo Nast, has received multiple personalized order predictions. I believe he could speak to the effectiveness of our ways firsthand. If my own humble assertions are not enough, I trust his attestations would convince you, and perhaps other members of the displaced as well. We utilize a mix of proprietary research methods to gather as complete a data set as possible, and advanced calculations using well-honed models to effectuate it. None of us predict events with complete accuracy or absolute detail. We'd need to solve the universal equation to do that. Fortunately, we're all working very hard on that problem. The Department of Predictive Analysis provide weekly prognostics reports and personalized order predictions to help steer our followers' paths. The Department of Predictive Analysis is mainly populated by seers like myself, who represent the Order's most talented mathematicians. After years of study, some can predict events a few seconds or minutes into the future with reasonable precision. Others can estimate with up to 71.1% accuracy several months out. Of course, predictions have grown more difficult with the loss of the archive, but I am not to speak of that with an outsider. No offense. Unforeseen factors, random elements, anomalous outliers, incalculable variables, all of them can undercut the accuracy of our predictions. But as we close in on solving the universal equation, unknown unknowns will become known unknowns. Then finally, known knowns. You follow? True, my situation does lack a certain refinement. Regrettably, this is Matriarch's Mercy. We all must do the best we can with limited means. I foresee you have much to do. I won't keep you. Adieu.